right. Let's get this out of the way first. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on Tailboard Talks Firefighter podcast are solely those of the speakers, guests, and host, and do not in any way represent the thoughts or views or opinions of any other employer, partnership, or sponsor. The material and information in this podcast is for general information purposes only and should be used at the listener's discretion.
Here comes the intro. Skip forward 30 seconds if you want to get right to the episode. This is the Tailboard Talk Podcast, the best health, wellness, and lifestyle resource for the fire service. We're using stories, lessons, and tips from the front lines to give a realistic view of what the job can do to us and how we can make it out alive. I'm Chris Morella, a firefighter since 03, medic since 05, full-time since 08, and promoted to lieutenant in 20. I'm also a personal trainer and strength coach, and I'm here to give you the best information and host the best discussions to make us capable and durable, both on the job and away from it. So grab a heater, steal some fancy creamer from first shift, and let's go chat. Cheers, honey.
Cheers.
Sitting out here. If you guys are, it's weird. I don't know what time people are going to listen to this, but it's like 8 o'clock. It is 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, and it's still light outside. Kids are in bed, so we got our little mini solo stove going. We have the Mesa, the bigger of the two Mesa ones, which is awesome. And I have a beer stein full of champagne.
Is that full?
Yeah, beer stein with some champagne in it. You have a mimosa, and we're celebrating.
We are.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, we had Sawyer's birthday went well. So Nathan's birthday party went well. Your birthday is Monday. Mm-hmm. Cause you told I know what date it is, just not what day of the week it is. I did my first speaking engagement in 3 years. Mm-hmm. 2 years. The tree is down in the backyard.
We had a successful first camping trip.
Massive trunkling in the yard. Successful first camping trip. St. Louis was cool, except for ripping Nathan's foot off and his eyes almost popping out of his head from allergies. Mm-hmm. I wonder if those birds will be in the recording. They're so loud. We had baby birds hatched in our backyard. Mm-hmm. These are all positive things.
Oh, it's flying away.
That's not a baby.
Oh, that's not a baby one.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a blended family of a robin and a sparrow, because there's a sparrow couple, boy and girl, that go into the nest, and all they do is hang out with the babies, and then the robin comes and feeds them. I'm pretty sure it's a blended family.
How fitting.
Yeah. So we got that. We got everything going on. And we're not going to watch it tonight. We'll watch it next week because we watch our reality TV on Peacock, but the Vanderpump Rules finale is...
I'm so excited.
Is it airing tonight?
It's tonight.
It's airing tonight.
And we can watch it tomorrow, but our schedules don't align, so we can't watch it till Saturday.
I thought we had a regular episode tomorrow. We still have one more regular episode. No. And then the finale. We have the regular episode, then the reunion is another thing.
Correct.
Okay. So if you guys are up on Scandival, we're with you. I've had a surprising number of conversations with people who are up on it, and it's a nice little bonding thing.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
For bringing you into the pop culture of my trash TV.
Yep. Years ago. It's finally coming to some value.
You're welcome. 10
years later, but we're in. So more to come on that, I'm sure. Probably not. What else? What else are you celebrating or are you grateful for today?
Today, the tree's finally down. That's nice. Don't have to look at that anymore. I think all my gratefulness happened yesterday.
What?
Well, I text you when we had.
Oh, you're at the zoo?
I was at the zoo.
Yeah.
So I was grateful for that.
That just cover too many bases? Just take care of all the stuff? Okay.
Yeah. What are you grateful for today?
I just listed off 10 things that were all positive.
Just today?
Yeah.
Just today?
Most of those things were, the tree's down. Mm-hmm. We got the solo stove. I'm drinking a beer stein full of champagne. Yeah, what else do you want from me, lady?
Everything.
Yeah, I know. I'm grateful those birds are able to express their need for worms, because, man, are they exercising that right. So let's talk about me being gone, because did the conference, we have a couple topics to talk about. I'm going to get to your ideas on trauma bonding.
Okay.
Because you said you have to think about those.
Well, yeah, you threw me for a loop when you read the first definition.
Of traumatic bonding. Let's just do that instead. So trauma bonding, somebody put a question in the question box on Instagram and said, is trauma bonding healthy? And I was like, well, I got to look up a definition of that. Both Katie and I first thought it was if two people go through the same trauma or similar trauma, then they become friends because of it, right? Mm-hmm. Then I looked up trauma bonding, and it autofilled traumatic bonding.
Not the same.
Not the same. Traumatic bonding is an abusive relationship.
Yes.
Where basically the abuser uses manipulation and abuse to make the victim dependent on them. And it's like a super captive, abusive thing.
Right.
So I was like, that doesn't sound like
No.
what either of us thought it was going to be.
No.
Somebody looked up trauma bonding
Nor
properly.
have any need to talk about it.
Yeah, it was a strange.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the relationship you and I have. So help me. If you hear this, help me.
Please.
Not to make light of it.
No, you're making light of it, and that's such a fallacy.
But trauma bonding, you're conflicted on if it's healthy or not.
Correct.
Okay, why?
Because, well, first of all, way above my pay grade to even be, I think, like, weighing in on it. Because I really, like, that seems like a very important topic. That should maybe, like, a Molly Jones or someone else should be talking about.
Yeah.
But I would...
Talking to the microphone.
My initial... I am talking into it. My initial reaction would be, it would be healthy in the sense if it was like an AA situation where you have a sponsor.
Okay.
Where if someone through, maybe not the same exact particular event on the same day, but something similar, and you could reach out to that person to help work through it.
Okay.
But I'd feel like if me and you went through, or we're in the room during a traumatic event, both of us are going to have different... Those birds are so loud.
There's no way those aren't getting recorded.
That's going to be real annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was I saying?
But now we'll know.
If we went through the same exact event, our perspectives and own emotions would be completely different potentially.
Okay.
And I would think that if I'm talking to you about something happened on this day that you were there for, and I'm trying to vent to you or talk myself through something triggering that could potentially trigger you, then send you down to a spiral. So wouldn't it kind of just be a cycle of going down the same rabbit hole of triggering responses and not really working through anything? I don't know. I feel like it would not initially be healthy.
Did we just see that? Is there like an instance? Is that Vanderpump? Is that what I'm thinking of like two people? Oh no, I'm thinking of Daisy Jones. Where
yes.
Like, they were basically useless.
Yeah.
They would have both.
Right.
It wasn't a realistic thing.
Correct.
Because they were so damaged, both of them.
Correct.
Okay.
If you haven't watched that show, you should really watch it. It's super good, and the book is even better.
Super duper.
But anyways.
Go on. I'm going to put more wood on the fire, so keep pontificating.
I would think no. I would think that if two people went through the same traumatic event, yes, you'd have some bonding over it, but that shouldn't be... Like, I don't think I would build a relationship, like... And I'm going with particularly, like a romantic partnership. Like, I don't think I'd want to... I don't think that would be healthy. Okay. Like, if it was just to be a supportive partnership, like we went to the same group that talked about Invented... Maybe, I don't know, because I've never gone through anything. I think that'd be life-changingly traumatic. So to talk or give my...
Well, it doesn't have to be life-changing, right?
That's what I would assume it would be. Like when I think of traumatic event, I think of a noteworthy, life-changing, not maybe not changing, but like altering mindset. That's what I think of, like when I think traumatic. I think like big picture traumatic.
You just think grand scale traumatic,
right?
Not big picture. Like,
well, I just like even
like car accidents are traumatic for people, right?
Right. What? Even I don't know. Like I don't know. I think grand scale. I don't think minuscule.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a distinct like this.
You consider trauma to be like
big,
a major point in your life. not
Right.
just an event that happens.
Correct.
Talk into the microphone.
I'm trying my best.
Okay. So I don't think of that. I don't think of it as that top shelf of a word, trauma.
But do you think it's because you deal technically with trauma every day, and I deal not with trauma every day?
Well, you do. With those kids, they're traumatic events.
They're emotionally abusive, but
Yes.
I don't feel like they're traumatic.
That's a traumatic bonding relationship right there. But I don't. I think it's just I have a probably different scope of trauma.
Oh, 100%.
So, and maybe I think from work, but also like going to these conferences and talking to people and just having a different context of it. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all, trauma bonding. Because when I think of it as like, well, there's good stories of it all the time. I was just listening to a podcast the other day, and this guy needed a double lung transplant. Okay. And the donor was dying of some other form of cancer. So this guy gets the cancer guy's lungs because they're usable. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He meets the cancer guy's girlfriend, who's now single because cancer guy died.
Uh-huh.
He's got his lungs. They start dating. Now they're married. They're going to have a kid.
Stop it.
Okay. So traumatic event. They bonded, and now they're a couple.
Okay. See. Okay.
All right. So then on the other side of it, on the lesser side of it, I think that it can be helpful. I think it'd be a good thing, a positive thing, as long as the trauma isn't as long as you use the trauma to build a relationship and then move forward from it.
Yes.
Right? It can't just be a cycle of like, hey, let's stay stuck in our misery because of this event, and that's why we need each other because we're both miserable.
So that's what I think like would happen.
Okay, you're picturing two people just like circling the drain together.
Correct.
Okay. Well, good.
But I think what you said, our scopes of traumatic events is different. That to me is a Lifetime movie story, and I think that's lovely.
It probably will be. All right. So we stepped beyond our responsible scope with that one, but
Yeah, that's.
I'm sure there's some people that have different opinions on that, but I think it's like anything else. Well, if you think about it too, like most relationships, right? If you have a friendship with somebody, you have something in common with them, and you might have a bunch of trauma bonding relationships without even knowing it, because you might just be friends with someone and not know why you're such good friends with them, and then if you were to dig in both your backstories, you're like, oh wow, we went through the same, abusive childhood or whatever, and you just happen to be attracted to each other in a friendship way because you have that in your background as a commonality. Yeah.
I'm going to talk about this on Friday night with my girls.
Yeah.
Tell me all your traumas.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are we all linked?
Oh God.
I'll be home at 4 a.m.
I would want to hear about that. I would want to hear about that because I have some strong opinions on their traumas. No, I'm just joking. What else did I write down? Okay, now we can talk about the conference. Not to make it all about me, but it comes back to you again, of course, like everything does.
Oh, please.
So I did this conference. I had to drive 2.5 hours to get there. There all day, 2.5 hours back. So I got home at like 6:15 or 6:20 at night, right? And I went there after shift. So I chose to miss the first day of the conference because I didn't want to flip a day backwards and then be gone for my shift and then be gone 2 days in a row, basically, at the conference. Because I also would have shortened the 2 days off in between my shift and the flip day. So I tried my best to minimize the impact.
It wasn't because you didn't want to miss Mother's Day, which you would have worked on if you flipped?
No.
Okay.
Because it was raining. What did we really do? I mean...
Nothing I wanted to.
Yeah. So I tried to minimize the impact to the home life, right? But I still had to be gone for 12 hours. And what we've been talking about is like, if I keep trying to grow the podcast, if that leads to more speaking opportunities, I'd rather do bigger one-off or like 2-day events than more frequent in-department things. But also, because of the past 2 or 3 years of nothing really happening, and shutdowns and all that, I've kind of enjoyed not having to worry about going and doing stuff beyond shift work. Like, shift is the only reason that takes me away from home now, like hockey now and then, or whatever, right? So where are you feeling? How do you feel on me being gone for my regular shift, but then gone for more days on top of that for the side biz stuff?
Totally fine.
Okay. It's rude.
Because.
It's disrespectful, but I understand.
Because.
You didn't have to say it so easily.
Listen.
Could have, blinked. You could have looked at me and blinked without rolling your eyes.
I didn't roll my eyes. No, I think we both know right now at the stage that the kids are in, they're so used to you being gone.
I'm just happy you didn't say season.
What do you mean?
It's one of your things you always say, this season.
Because we're in a season.
This season of life.
We're in a season of life.
We're in this season. Go on.
Anyways. Because the kids turn into total psychopaths when you come home.
Yes.
And it's a lot more easy when you're not here because you're not riling them up. Because they know when Dad's home, it's crazy town.
Yeah.
And Nathan turns into a mini you and can't keep one single thought going.
Yeah.
Or one task or anything. So my days run so much smoother when you're not home. And it's one less cook in the kitchen, right? Because when you're home, you're involved. So
God forbid. I am just the worst.
Seriously.
No wonder you want me gone more often.
No, but it's almost just he's also learning how to. He's learning manipulation tactics.
He knows them already.
He knows
He's
them.
Just using them.
He will just start playing one parent against the other, and 90% of the time when you are home, at least for the first day, you're playing catch up, right? So it's you either have someone coming over for training right after you get home from work, especially when he was in school. Like now that we're on quote unquote summer break from intro to preschool.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be home when you have people come over. So it's just this, you were kind of here but not here already when he was in school. So now like with him being done with school and then you being home more, it's just going to be a little bit chaos, I think, for the next couple of weeks. But when you're not home.
Months.
Well, I mean, until we get into our new routine.
September.
I can't wait for September.
September's like the new routine.
I'm so excited for September.
It's a long summer break.
It's a very long summer break.
Fall.
But it's our last year with him being in part-time school, and we have one more year, and then he's in full-time school.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a huge game changer.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone the other day about that. I was at work, and I was saying how I think when he's in school full-time, that's when it'll start feeling like time's going really quickly because we're apart from him more. Mm-hmm. So we'll have like 7 or 8 hours with him each day instead of 16, you know? And so that's when it's like, oh, I haven't been with you all day. You're going quickly and time's passing more quickly because we're apart from you more often.
But see, I'm with him all the time, so I don't feel that right now.
Not you.
I feel like
it's not because it's not what I'm talking about. In September when he's in more school, and then next year when he's in full-time school, and you're apart from him more, that's when the time will start going more quickly. Or you'd be like, wow, this past 2 years flew by, or like, how is he 5 or 6 already?
Well, I already feel like, how is he going to be 4 in 2 weeks?
See, and I don't, because whenever you say, like, I can't believe he's 4 already, I'm like, I believe it, because every day feels like 4 years sometimes.
I know, and it's funny to me, because you're not with him every single day.
Yeah.
And he defaults to me for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how do you not feel like he's 4? Like you barely see not that you barely see him, but
what are you talking? Barely see him.
Not like you don't, like you barely see him, but you're not with him every day.
Yeah.
Anywho,
well, I'm still getting blamed for stuff. He thinks I say "funky Jesus."
You do say "funky Jesus."
Not
you say the
according
funky
to
part
today.
all the time.
Yeah.
I say "Oh geez Louise." How he married the two together, I don't know. But Miss Holly says you say "funky Jesus." So
yeah, I don't say funky. Let me look at the list again real quick. That might be it. Might be a quick one. Because the other thing was like the shift work schedule.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you and Kurt will talk about that.
I do want to talk about that, but I just don't know. And I don't have enough information on the 4896 to really
Well, I will say from a personal standpoint, I don't, obviously from your standpoint, I don't know the logistics, like when it comes to switching shifts or needing trades or how that would work. But I would say from a home life standpoint, I think it actually sounds pretty great.
To be gone for 48 hours and home for 96 hours?
Yeah, because so you're gone for 2 days and then you're home for 4.
Yeah.
And I think prior to kids, they'd be like, I don't know what the difference is, like whatever, you think. But now having kids and not having had like a good night's sleep in 3 years,
Yeah.
I was like, no, because when I've gone on my 2 girls trips that I've gone on with like after having both kids, I'm like, no, when I'm gone for 2 days or 3 days and I get 2 full nights of sleep and not having to worry about anything,
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like ready to conquer the next 6 months
6
before
hours.
my 6 months before my next trip.
Yeah.
Just getting that rest and reset. Because really, when you're home, okay, you're home like your first day of morning off, but you only get one night to catch up on sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But then selfishly, like, okay, but what if I want to sleep in? Like, I'm not going to make you get up early with Nathan because I know you didn't get a good night's sleep. And it's not like...
We've also been, because they're going to bed later now, we're also staying up later at night.
Yeah.
Like tonight, we probably won't go to bed till like 10 or 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, when they were going to bed earlier, we'd be in bed by like 9.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm in bed by 9 when you're not home anyways.
Yeah, but I'm saying like now, so that one night even isn't even... It's even sacrificed still because he's not getting up any later. He's still getting up at 5 o'clock or 5:30.
Right.
But because we want to spend time together and we can't during the day, like actually spend time together without a shrieking a-hole next to us of one form or another, we're trying to make it up for it at night. So we're up later than we were before. So even that one day is less than it used to be. So I get it from that standpoint. I'm not familiar with enough to know like, how do you get 2 days off? I know you have Kelly days, right? So those are still built in. There's still Kelly days, but I don't know how those work with 48. There's also another thing to think about in general with the culture of the department, where the guys I've heard talk about it have been like, okay, if you're on the ambulance the first day, then you're not on the second day. And the first day is when you get all your work done. Inspections, training, everything gets done the first day, and second day is more like a holiday routine, weekend kind of thing, And I think for our department, that would be a monster shift. Like, I don't think that would be tolerated to have the second day be more or less a weekend day.
Yeah, I mean, your guys are pretty busy.
Well, we're busy with calls, but also we're expected to be busy while we're at work.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think culturally we would get it past as like, that's the way this works is like, yeah, we're here for 2 days, but the second day is kind of a weekend.
Yeah.
We're just going on calls and covering the bases. I don't think that would fly with our administration. So there's that whole side of it too. So there's a lot of sides to it that I haven't even really thought about yet to have a good conversation on.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like that's definitely a curtain topic. I'm just thinking from a home-based standpoint, it sounds pretty nice because I feel like it gives you a little bit more.
I would love to be home for 4 days in a row.
I mean, I would take 3 days, at least 2 nights of sleep, like good sleep for you.
The thing goes back to though is I wouldn't. At this point, I'm comfortable with the 24/48, and if I was expected to be on the ambulance for 2 days in a row, that would be a really tough.
Like, you would be miserable for the first 2 days home.
Yeah, it'd be a really tough like debate of cost benefit on that one. If it wasn't a set thing of like, yeah, you're going to run the first day, but the second day you'll have a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Call wise, just output wise.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But what else? Anything else? We're 23 minutes in.
Whew. What was your favorite part about your speaking engagement?
Honestly, it was probably can you put more wood on this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Since we're going to keep talking. It was probably the fact that I got to push all the way down in there. I got to tell 100 people at once that I have a podcast, and 100 people at once that like I do training stuff. And I got to meet 2 or 3 more people that I want to have on the podcast. Mm-hmm. I met another podcast and like a standalone. I met another podcast. So I feel like it was just the networking and the marketing was like my favorite part because I got to see people and meet people that are like-minded and enthusiastic and enjoyed being there and lecturing. The actual talk part was fun. I thought I swore too much, but everybody else said it was fine. Like, wasn't that noticeable because I wasn't trying to be, like, obnoxious with it. I was just using it.
Your general conversationalist.
Yeah. There's definitely a few things afterwards where, so I chose to wear the lapel mic and walk around instead of being at the podium in front of the computer. Mm-hmm. So I missed a few talking points, and I kind of made them up and hit parts of them as I was trying to remember them. But there was definitely parts of it where I was like, I would think back to a specific bullet point, and what I said was okay, but it wasn't what I had outlined originally. Mm-hmm. And so I wish I would have gone back and looked at it because the point I was planning on making was better or just more concise. So yeah, but I liked it. I liked speaking again to a large group of people who cared. You know, it's a voluntary thing, so the people that were there signed up and paid to be there, as opposed to when I would go to fire stations and they were told to be there. So you might have like 2 people out of 15 that care. So it was just nice to talk to the people who care. It's always an easier conversation, and they were surprisingly engaged with all the speakers. It wasn't like people just kind of on their phones or having side conversations or dozing off. I got a decent amount of laughs because I put the picture of Nathan burning his mouth on the hot dog up there, and Sawyer with her upside down sunglasses. Yeah, I put all the funny pictures up there. So it was good. It was good. It was a long drive and a long day, but it was fun. And I think from it, I'll have at least 3 or 4 relationships that'll come out of it. That'll be pretty cool.
That's good.
And, the most important part, I have now a new relationship with your new mentor and hero, which is the detective out of Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Who was a detective, or was a police officer for 6 or 8 years. He was involved in a shooting. Because of that, he had to go to therapy and uncovered a lot of stuff in his past of abuse. That spurred him into becoming a detective. Because of that, he became a very high-profile detective, an SVU detective, which is like your thing. He's on the SVU team for like over a decade.
Like, I'm sure there's all the yucky parts of like dream job if I wasn't a scaredy cat.
He consulted on Criminal Minds.
Favorite, best show ever.
And now he was on the podcast of the Criminal Minds writer that you'll have to look up and check out.
Oh, yeah.
And then now he's on a different murder mystery show, like the First 48 kind of thing. He's a consultant on that, where he gets some screen time. And we're going to be going to Florida with the camper eventually too. And I told him if we stop in Chattanooga and go through Atlanta, we'll be stopping and seeing him and hanging out.
Atlanta's gonna be a big stop. That guy, a Buc-ee's.
Yeah, all the Buc-ee's. So got to see him. That was awesome. He was a great speaker, a lot of energy, and some really awesome stories. So overall, it was very cool. It was a very cool thing. But now I got to figure out how to get into more and do them, since you would much prefer me doing that and talking to strangers than being home with my kids.
Yep.
Ouch. That's what I'll do, I guess. Just go away.
Oh, please.
Anything else before we wrap up here? Now we're at 27 minutes.
Woo.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
The last couple have been long, so it's okay if we...
Well, don't you just use me for your dip anyways? When you're like a lull.
You are the dip, yeah.
You need, no, stop.
You dip. Yeah, but I don't know. People seem to like you, so...
Oh. Are you lying?
Seem to. I have no concrete statements yet. If you like Katie and you want to hear more of her, let me know, and I'll be sure to tell her promptly.
You won't tell me anything.
Yeah. I'll be like, no, nothing.
Shocker.
That's it. Do you remember the...
Durable, capable, on the job, and away from it.
Capable and durable. You're right.
Alphabetical.
Oh, look out for the new logos, too.
Oh, yeah.
New logos, new podcast logo coming out eventually. I got the framework of it. The center part I'm still debating on. Even though I don't use the center part often, the blank version without the thing. I got to figure out what I want it. I want the scramble to be in there somewhere, I think. The 4-shift scramble.
Yeah.
But also the antique fire engine looks cool in the center.
I like that one.
Okay.
That needs to go like on a coffee mug.
I think all the logos, the 4-shift one and the podcast one will look way better. The new ones will look way better on shirts and hats and stuff compared to the circle one.
Oh.
Thanks for agreeing with me.
You need to pick one because Nathan likes a circle shirt and it's becoming a crop top, so he needs a new one.
We can keep the vintage.
Figure it out.
We'll keep the modern one as the vintage one. The vintage one is the new one.
Whoa.
Oh man,
God, you're a genius.
Cutting edge.
Totes.
Yeah, I'm so cutting edge. It doesn't work. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for hanging out. And
Toodaloo.
Yeah, bye.